exact feature.
I just thought it sounded familiar.
You guys talking about Notchgate?
Oh no! Why is that a thing?
Notchgate?
I don't.
Pixel Notchgate?
Notches
phone has a
don't
notch.
bother me. I don't understand what the problem is.
This notch is like full on like.
It's like
Is it your match? Yes, you have a natural notch. It's your hair. Why didn't
Notchgate.
iPhone 10? Why didn't iPhone
Notchgate,
10?
notch a thing.
It should notch be a thing for sure.
I'm Tyler. I'm a project strategist here at Crema. Welcome.
And I'm Larissa, and I'm the content specialist.
Hey, I'm Sean, and I'm a product designer.
Mugs Up Monday.
I'm George. I'm Dan. You never seen me.
Join us. Hop on in, guys. Last week was the Google event, the big Google event of this season.
Which also, wasn't it really like billed as the Pixel 3 event, but then there was more to show? Because like this whole build up to the Pixel 3, like everything was completely leaked. Everybody knew exactly what the phone was going to be. Mm-hmm. And so I think they also had a bunch of stuff in development that
Hold please.
not a lot of people knew.
What things were leaked? Do you know?
Well, I mean, the phone itself. So again, I think it was kind of like billed as primarily the Pixel 3 event, but they also had a lot more to show in the way of the hub and other advancements, the slate and things like that, in which kind of maybe took a little bit of people by surprise because people expected the phone and knew that the phone was going to be there. So although it was like, I think primarily Pixel 3 event, they showed a lot of stuff. You said something interesting though. You found an article that mentions Android wasn't mentioned a single time during that event. I don't even know how they get around that.
So what it does though is so Android is this open source platform, right, that almost anybody can use. You can put it on any device, and that distributes the brand power of Google away from Google on these other brands. And so Google wanting to own certain parts of the space, they talk about themselves, they talk about Google Home, Pixel, these brands that they can own
Google
the entire
Photos
experience for.
Google Assistant. Those are big pieces.
Yeah, and so there are, even within the Android universe, they are making decisions that remove the Android name. Like this article mentions messages. It's not Android messages anymore, it's messages. Apple did the same thing, going from whatever to normal names as well. So it's just it's getting away from the branding of these sort of, not really commoditized, but these standard experiences and emphasizing things that they know. No, the camera is just amazing camera work.
Yeah.
One of the cool things that I saw that I really, really liked, of course, the night shot, but how it will take a picture of you as you are making faces. So with the photo booth mode, it shows that they are paying attention to a different part of the user experience than Apple.
I'm really excited about the autofocus, the autofocus tracking.
Dude.
And for the wide angle option, because like
You take a lot of selfies?
Well, no, but this is why. Coming from like a content creator perspective, like it'd be really cool if I had those things on my phone. That way, I don't have to go get like a special camera or stuff for like
or even
wide
like a
angle
detachable
shots.
lens. You can stick on your phone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So from that, it's a good investment, especially if you're a content creator, because the camera is just so good on a phone,
great.
and you always have it with you. So it's not like
Yeah.
Flip to
Again, I'll say really quickly, I thought that feature existed already. And this is me coming from an old Android ecosystem when they still made Nexuses, before they made the Pixels. So it has existed?
Apparently it did. Not being an Android person, I had no idea. My one hitch with this, as much as I love that feature, I would like it to not just turn the phone to vibrate, but basically throw it in a do not disturb mode. Because even a buzz on the tabletop is
you want to
Isn't
check
that
it
what
out.
it does though?
Totally.
Doesn't it just silence the whole phone?
What I read, what I heard, what I saw was that it was I do a lot. Was that it just turns into vibrate mode.
Huh. I wonder if you can.
You
change
could probably
that. I'm sure you can
make the settings. Yeah.
That's something.
Because it's an Android, you can do that.
You have the option.
Yeah, you can change.
Android gives you options.
I think I wrote down as a note, cool, because in reality it's just a voicemail, but it's also, I would feel so insulted if somebody either didn't just go to voicemail, or I know how to leave a message. I don't need to be told, what are you calling for? Who are you? Like you get these prompts, I think, when you get the assistant.
Yeah.
So I'm not an infant. And then also I'd rather just like have them pick up the phone if they're available. Like if they're actively sending me to a service, that feels so weird and insulting.
Oh.
I get calls from like I got a call earlier today from an unknown number from Texas. So I feel like that is when it would be useful to me.
True, and that's how they kind
Yeah.
of build it, right?
So maybe there'll be an option in there where you can customize what the assistant says whenever they answer or the phone, or if
Well, yeah, but yours was like telemarketing. I mean, that makes sense to block those.
if you can choose to have it only do that for numbers that are already in your contacts, that would be cool.
Talking to a robot over the phone that's never put me off. If I know that it's scheduling an appointment or paying for a credit card, paying off a credit card, paying with something, like, that doesn't bother me at all. And if somebody does that to me, it's probably just fine, unless it is a legitimate emergency. Like, I don't think I'd mind it because I don't feel like I need to talk to people that much. You just have better feelings than I do. More sensitive than
No, it's just like that's part of the whole thing I've been thinking about, like using a phone less is like being more intentional about things. So
Yeah.
that's like calling up people instead of texting them. But like, not that I practice what I preach, but that's the ultimate goal.
Well, and that's what I was wondering. I wrote in here, how is this going to affect the people or affect the way people talk to each other? Because you know how like when texting was a thing, first became a thing, I remember like my dad was saying, this is dumb, like you should just call people.
Yeah.
'Cause, like just call them. And then now it's like a thing. So is this going to be like a thing that's just normal? And then we're just going to keep, less interacting with people less and less,
Totally.
That'd be sad. I don't want that to happen.
Well, don't you already see that happening when like you just hop on a train or anything and people are just like always down? You know?
Yeah, but like people though too is like I text people more than I call them now.
Yeah.
But it's also like people are busy and it's almost like calling people out of the blue is kind of almost like you should
Intrusive.
text me before you
Yeah,
do this.
yeah.
Yeah,
You're
exactly.
right. That's
yeah.
totally like a normal thing now.
Right.
I agree.
When you were talking about calling friends on the phone, I was like, I would send them a text before I
Hey, you free?
The Google Home Hub. What do you guys think about that?
I think you were gonna say it, the camera thing.
Yeah. No, I think that's smart.
That was an elegant, like.
Well, I didn't want to steal it. Yeah. Well, I didn't
Oh,
want to
no.
so I could tell because he wrote it. I was like,
No,
okay.
that's cool. Like, I would just say, no camera in it is, they said they did it intentionally, which I like. I mean, they're still listening all the time. So that's still weird. Like, we got an Echo Dot or something for Christmas and unplugged it like a week later. I thought it was useful. We unplugged it and like a week later something came out where like all Amazon engineers had access to like every recording ever and like with no security, something crazy like that.
Yep.
So still to have a microphone, which is obviously the voice control stuff, you need it, and I think it's getting really good, but there's still that privacy concern. But having no camera in there makes it like less of a threat in your bedroom.
I'm just glad that they thought about it. I think that's.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, thank you for being considerate.
Yeah.
Price point on this is great.
Oh my gosh. I know, because to your point, like, would I get one of these? No, but could I afford one? Yes. Also from a design perspective, again, I mentioned like these are colorful. It's like there's a blue color, a pink, and black and white. I think maybe gray and white. Gorgeous, I think, like aesthetically, like physically. And then also they mentioned, and you can see it really well too, all of their interfaces, like the Google things of, like the digital interfaces are blown up and fat and chunky, and they fit this screen like really specifically, and I think that's really cool. So I think the device is pretty.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
But again, the usefulness, I want like less screens in my life.
It's interesting too because it's not running on Android itself, it's running on a different OS. But coming back to our conversation earlier about Android and how they didn't mention Android at all in the entire event is possibly telling, but it's also a chance for them to, I guess differentiate a little bit more with their experiences instead of tying themselves down with their own mobile operating system. I also think it signals a difference in how this would be used. So it's not just another mobile device; it's something more.
Yeah, and it's obviously like tied to the home intentionally.
Yeah,
it's called Home Hub. I mean, they talked about all like the smart home things connected in this one place. And again, the interface I think is just
It just looks super.
so clean.
Yeah, it's so
almost like
practical.
childlike, super approachable.
So, last thoughts on the Google Home Hub? Would I buy it? Not yet.
the big thing for me is the necessary investment into many aspects of my home. The only thing I could possibly use it for would be music. I don't need it for directions because I'm not gonna look up directions on the thing
Before
on my
I
counter and then go.
Yeah.
That seems weird.
That's like when you had to print
I'd
out-
rather use a map. I mean, if I were to invest in any of them, it would be Google.
I'd agree.
Same.
I mean, I've always liked their services. And then also there's like a Facebook. There's a Facebook version
Oh
of
yes,
this.
the Facebook Portal. Yeah,
But I had no idea that
that's
was even
about
a
the
thing.
worst. Who wants to buy a home invasion kit from Facebook?
That's so funny that you call it that because these are all that.
As a social tool, it's an interesting play, but
makes it
as
creepier.
only a social tool, it's wicked creepy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
It's so funny. It really is. So I will say though, there's a take from this whole event that Google is getting, wow, they're amazing at hardware now, but getting better at hardware than Apple is, I think, at like software and services. So they're just sort of taking over both. Google's taking over both of those worlds. I mean, no doubt, all the products are beautiful. They're all thoughtful. I think the software is really pretty, but just like I turned 30 years old and now I'm like jaded. Like I want less technology. And it's weird because I work at like a technology company.
Yeah.
But it's just my home life I want to be like
Yeah.
less. So that's why I might sound indifferent to all these things, but they're all really amazing and beautiful and the technology is awesome, but like I just don't want them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're for somebody else.
Right.
Well, and they're both starting to. You're not the only one because Apple and Google both are like Apple just released Screen Time in iOS 12, and that's been great for me. I've even shared a few of those on Twitter because it's amazing and it's humbling to see how much time I spend on this stupid thing.
Wow.
But this is a way for these tools, like these in-home, these privacy invasion devices, we'll call them. They are another way to maintain contact with the customers without making it seem like screen time.
Yeah.
So they're paying attention to that, and that's another thing that voice does is it keeps you out of
You're right.
the screen, which is great.
I didn't think about it like that. It's like if you take your phone out less, but you're still communicating and doing the things you need. Yeah, that's a benefit. You're right.
And
so
most importantly, they still get data on you.
my eyes are opened. Yeah, right.
But they each have a different perspective on how to interact with these things. Google and Apple specifically, Facebook of course is way out there, as is Amazon. But because they come from such vastly different perspectives.
Yeah.
But Apple has always had a very designer-centric approach where you're going to do things our way. We're going to tell you the best way to do
Oh,
them.
totally. You
Whereas
didn't know you
Google-
needed this.
Yeah, Google's a bit more friendly and approachable with their,
Yeah.
not just their design styles, but how they interact with technology, like or how you interact with technology, like we mentioned before. So it'll be interesting to see how that matures, given what you just said, given voice, all this other hardware stuff.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting. I think we're done.
Yeah.
I think we're done. Is that it?
Yeah. Okay. Comment down below what you think. Put it in the cup. Put your comments in the cup.
Is that a thing?
It's a thing. It was a thing.
I like it.
We have to say
Notchgate.
Mugs up.
Notchgate 2018.
Not talking about
Don't
it.
let no Notchgate. There's no such thing as Notchgate.
Nobody cares.